Welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to Big Mouth Live. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you doing tonight? Are we having a good day? Ronnie Dodge, yes, myth. Say that again. Ronnie Dodge, yes, Mick, the myth, the legend. Thank you very much, Ronnie. Welcome to Big Mouth Live. How are we all doing today? So I want to take you back to 2018 because in 2018, Walter Hamada took over as DC film president. Now, back then, we were all fighting for release the Snyder Cut, but something very, very curious happened. And that was, John, hi there, how are you today? Very well, John, how are you? So something very curious happened at a convention. DC and WB put up a banner called The Worlds of DC. Who remembers that? The Worlds of DC was the plan from Walter Hamada as soon as he stepped into the front door. Ronnie Dodge, I'm God, what a time to be a DC fan. I saw some Snyder fans saying this multiverse is going to be messy. Let them cry. Oh yeah, it's hilarious. What about the nut jobs having a go at Superman and Lois saying that Superman killed a bunch of people because he pushed them against the wall? And then them talking about splinters. Oh my God, how agenda-driven can you be? Superman and Lois has united Superman fandom. It's as simple as that. Get over it. So, back in 2018, they were calling the DCEU the Worlds of DC. They put up the banner at a convention. That proves that Walter Hamada has been planning this multiverse strategy from the moment he walked into the front doors as DC Films president. This hasn't just been something that came up at DC Fandom last year. This is something that they've been wanting to do for a very long time. They have a plan. They've had a plan since 2018, but of course the Snyder Cut and all of the problems with Zack Snyder delayed their plans, and finally they're unleashing their plans, and their plans are monumental, like it or not. Ronnie Dodge, don't get me started. Andy Signal has done a video complaining about Amber being in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom snowflakes. Honestly, well, Andy Signal's Popcorn Planet is very anti-Amber Heard. He likes doing these videos about Amber Heard because guess what? He's pretty much got all these guys who come in watching them. They're part of the fandom menace. They hate her because they blame her for Johnny Depp's career being destroyed. And I've made the point very clear. I don't care about what she did to Depp. At the end of the day, Johnny Depp married a beautiful young woman who had ambitions. And she did what she had to do to become successful. That's why she married him, right? And she succeeded. If Johnny Depp just split up with Amber and forgot all about it, he'd still have a career. The legal case in London against the UK newspaper was an own goal for Depp. And really, if he just walked away and didn't keep on trying to sue her and other people, you know, at the end of the day, he's never going to win. Never. He ruined his own career. What a great actor. What a shame. And by the way, if we want to get personal with that relationship, it's pretty clear to me that both Depp and Heard both gave as good as they got. They both took lumps out of each other, in my opinion, allegedly. The relationship's over. Get over it. I don't care. She is Mira. She will continue to be Mira. Get over it. Oh yeah, you know what the Snyder stands are saying? Leroy, oh hello Mick, great live. Ronnie Dodge, well no offense Leroy, looks like the multiverse is going to do wonders, unlike something that Snyder couldn't do because it was all about him. Well, to a point, Ronnie, you've got a point there. You've got a point. So the Snyder fans are saying that Aquaman and the, Ronnie, tell me the title again because I've forgotten it. But the Aquaman sequel is basically taking Zack Snyder's idea of the search for the Seven Kingdoms. But at the end of the day, right, it doesn't matter. it's actually in the comics. It's actually in the fucking comics. So it's not Zack Snyder's idea, just because he was planning to implement it in the first Aquaman movie. Ronnie Dodge, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So everything doesn't belong to Snyder. If you listen to these people, Superman and Lois is Snyder's idea. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I nearly said Ronnie Dodge because I was reading that. It is Snyder's idea. Everything is down to Zack Snyder, right? Grow up. Grow up. There is a plan. There's a strategy in place. They're moving on from it, regrettably. And we've got to move forward or stay in the past. It's up to people. But I'm standing this plan. This plan is amazing. It's interesting. And it's just so great. And I'm so happy. And I'm so excited. I'm sorry that Snyder didn't get to finish his arc. But at the end of the day, he gave as good as he got. Leroy Kong, DC films will be dead without the Snyderverse. Zack Snyder is a true DC fan. Zack Snyder is the greatest. Ronnie Dodge, it was a story in the comics, apparently. Everything DC is Snyder. Headbutting a wall. Yeah, the search for the Seventh Kingdom is in the comics. Snyder wanted to implement that, but now James Wan and Walter Hamada have decided to implement it. And I think they're going to thread through the other story that we're going to make another film about as well, which is very, very interesting. So but apparently it's a darker movie as well. I think it will still be funny in places, but I'm very, very excited. Definitely a story in the comics, though, Ronnie, for sure. I mean, for me as a DC fan, waking up and finding out the title of this movie was very exciting. But at the end of the day, some Snyder fans are going to keep on coming up with their false agendas. So now Tyler Hoechling's Superman is a murderer, and now Christopher Reeve's Superman is a murderer as well. John, do you think Cyborg will be in the Flashpoint, not Ray Fisher? Yes. And honestly, I can't wait to the opening day of that movie because you know a lot of Snyder fans are going to be bitching galore. Bring on the great reviews and bring on the record box office. Leroy Kong, I will be off now. I like this video. Zack Snyder for life. Take care and keep safe. DC for life. Thank you, Leroy. Ronnie Dodge, DC being dead without Snyder, don't make me laugh. What we have coming, does that look dead? Nope. It looks very much alive. For the first time, the DCEU has got a realistic slate of films in development. I couldn't be more excited. Don't be surprised if they even announce a Cyborg movie without Ray Fisher. Some people are going to lose their shit about that. It looks like Bobcat can't make the evening ones, the evening streams, from the sounds of it. John, they can use the actor from Doom Patrol. Exactly, John. He's actually probably a real... No, what am I talking about? He is a good actor. He was trained in the UK. He's been in EastEnders. He's been in Doctor Who. He's been in a lot of British productions. So at the end of the day, he'll be fine. He'll be more than fine. He's done a really good job in Doom Patrol. And Ray Fisher, I wanted Ray Fisher to be part of this. But at the end of the day, you can't conduct yourself the way he did. I agreed with him pushing for the investigation, but the toxicity against Walter Hamada, some of the things he said about the man were despicable. Despicable, I tell you. And personally, as soon as that happened, and you can go back to my pre-recordings, I made that point. I couldn't support it. Because what happened was, he was saying that Hamada tried to block the investigation, and then when they asked him in the Hollywood Reporter, he goes, well, he wasn't actually blocking it. So, you know, mate, it's like the angry black man thing he accused of Warner Brothers with. We all know what they were trying to say. They didn't want to stereotype a black character, but he tried to make them look like racists. That's the problem. This guy is a politician. Ronnie Dodge, if they announce Cyborg movie without Ray, I will laugh. No doubt Ray will bitch about it. Well, Sunshine, if you didn't attack Walter, you would be in it. Exactly. And Warner Brothers didn't actually sack him from that movie. He sacked himself. He said he didn't want to work. He didn't want to work with Walter Hamada. Huh? What do you expect them to do? Beg you? Beg an actor with no fucking CV? No, mate. I am so pumped for this new vision that they've got. And it's a clean and tidy vision because they're doing Flashpoint and they're rebooting the universe in a clever way. So I just think it's awesome. You know, we're getting Supergirl, Batgirl. Imagine if Nicolas Cage's Superman fucking turns up. Just imagine that. What's there not to like? Keaton's Batman. Jesus, Batfleck, Ronnie Dodge. When the lawyer, which Ray supported and hyped up, ended up defending Walter, he attacked her. It was disgusting. Yeah, that's the thing. You're all right once you back him, right? When she said he was a nice bloke and he answered properly. But as soon as she backed other people, he didn't like it. Unfortunately, this is what these SJWs are like. Oh, who knows those sites, the DC Direct and the Marvel Direct? I got attacked by the guy who runs that because I was, what's her name? The bird who's going to be in the She-Hulk as the villain. I forgot her name. Anyway, I said some things about him, her, and he called me a misogynist. So I unfollowed DC Direct, I unfollowed MCU Marvel Direct, and I blocked him. So now he's lost support from someone who literally retweets every single fucking post he posts. That's not journalism, my friend. Attacking people who have an opinion on your posts, right? And calling them misogynists. That's not how it works. So now the DC Direct and the Marvel Direct or the MCU Direct are dead to me. Ronnie Dodge, come on, Ray, come on this channel. You have your say. Well, we have ours. Are you going to cry? Ray Fisher would never come on a small channel like this. Never. John, Walter Hamada is not going anywhere. No, Walter Hamada is not going anywhere. Listen, John, it's like this. If this is successful, this multiverse strategy, he will get another extension. Now, it is interesting. Now, with David Zaslav, I think his name is, from Discovery, he's pushing for this takeover to happen before next year. He wants it rushed through. That could happen. There's no question that he will bring his own executives in. I mean, it will be very controversial if he brought someone else in to run DC films. We'll have to wait and see. But I would imagine if DC are making money before these Discovery come in, and I think that's why DC are greenlighting so many films. They want them out there making money, so when Discovery come in, they can be happy with the financials. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. At this moment, Ronnie Dodge, I think we need to keep an eye out on the Flash social channels. Oh, for sure. I mean, I've got them both now, so I'm looking forward. At the moment, it's just stuff that's been posted by Andy Machete, but I expect that to change. We still haven't seen the Flash costume. We haven't seen Sasha's Supergirl costume. So these are really, really exciting things. But definitely we need to keep our eyes out because things are going to be dropping. I was on Twitter before I started the live just to make sure there wasn't anything to report. There's not, unfortunately. It's very rare where I can check and there's something to go in with. But yes, there's going to be things dropping in the next few weeks for sure. I can assure you of that. So, the Walter Hamada multiverse strategy was in place when he first walked in 2018. That's why they wanted to call it the Worlds of DC, the multiverse. But the DCEU has stuck. It's got a great ring to it. I don't think that will change anytime soon. They may change it. They may literally imprint it with something at the beginning of the films. I expect a kind of new, like the Marvel thing comes up with the kind of all the characters, and we had it with DC. I think something new is going to come up for Flash, or maybe even the Suicide Squad. Hello, is it me you're looking for? I can't find no one. But unfortunately, people are always going to be butthurt and have hot takes. I mean, the Snyder fans are very butthurt about Superman and Lois because he's successful and it's United Superman fans. So they feel a bit, what's the word? Defensive. If Zack did that, listen, forget about it. It's over. Superman and Lois, within one episode, united the Superman fans. As much as I love Man of Steel didn't do that. It divided Superman fans. Because Superman and Lois has charm. It has a balance of Superman action and the family and the emotion and the arc of what they're doing as well. And that twist they did last episode, I mean, that was sensational. It's a very clever concept. It's as simple as that. They've come up with something so fresh. They've involved Jonathan Kent, young Jonathan Kent, who's in the comics as well. So that's interesting because clearly Jonathan will develop powers. So that's going to be interesting when he does. I don't believe he's never going to get powers. John, I think we will get the Flash and Supergirl costumes revealed before DC Fandom. Oh, yes, definitely. That's going to happen, John. They're not going to wait till then. Because, look, Shazam Fury of the Gods is not out till 2023, and we've seen the Shazam costume already. So that tells you something. Although apparently the Shazam costume reveal was a leak, but it was crystal clear. You know, it wasn't some old extended camera, was it? I think the way they're revealing things are beautiful. I will never get over Andy Muschietti doing that video teasing Sasha Calle and pretending she was still auditioning for Supergirl. And her genuine reaction was so beautiful. And that made her endear to me. I found that so endearing to see a young actress getting her dream role. How amazing is that? So I think the way they're doing things is very exciting. And I think that, I think they know what they're doing. So James Gunn's The Suicide Squad should be a massive hit. People have recently seen test screenings, apparently. I think, was it Bobcat telling us that this morning? So it looks like, it does look like that film's going to hit big. Ronnie Dodger, I mean, Flash is filming in Glasgow this month, but I think the set is on lockdown. Oh, is it? I never heard anything like that. Well, England has a huge problem. So let's talk about COVID-19, which affects our beloved DC movies. The COVID-19 Delta variant is spreading like wildfire. The vaccines apparently are not very effective against it. I think the UK has a huge problem because Boris Johnson, didn't put India on the red light. He had them on green. So that spread this. So we could have shutdowns. We could have a shutdown for Flash, which would be a big shame. So let's see how that works out. But I haven't heard any delays with the Flash or anything being shut down. But then you've obviously heard saying, Ronnie, I haven't. I don't think they're shooting the whole movie there, and I don't think they're shooting the whole movie in London either. So it might be not, because America's doing very, very well with COVID now since Biden's come in. So if you're shooting in America, you should be okay. So Black Adam and Fury of the Gods should be okay. Ronnie Dodge, I don't mean lockdown is in shut because of COVID. I mean no press there because of spoilers. Oh no, they would never have press there. They do that, at certain times. But yeah, they're not. No one's allowed. This is what everyone's got to understand, Ronnie. Is this movie is going to have a lot of DC characters. It's going to have a lot of twists and turns. So no one can know what's going to happen in this film. So security is going to be tight. When there's leaks, it's because they've allowed the leaks to happen for publicity, like with the Fury of the Gods Shazam costume. So the Flash movie will be very secretive. I mean, they don't want a picture getting out of Nicolas Cage in the Superman costume, if that's going to happen, or Brandon Routh as Superman, or different things like that, or even Cavill or Gadot. Ronnie Dodge, there are more cases, but vaccines are working because deaths are still very low. Yes, the deaths are very low. The deaths are low, you're right. I think hospital admissions are okay, but this Delta variant, Ronnie, is a bit of a problem. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Obviously, I have family and friends in the UK, so hopefully, and even if I didn't, I don't want it to spread, obviously. But when you're run by idiots, this is what happens. Get your vaccines. Get your vaccines. We have no choice but to take the vaccines. It's as simple as that. Ronnie Dodge, got mine on Wednesday. Awesome. What? The Wednesday it just went, or this Wednesday? What, your first one or second one? So just imagine, right? Just imagine this. Think about this, right? We get the Aquaman sequel, right? They find out that the surface level, the tide is rising. So then they realize they have to find another place for humanity to live. So then, not Amber Heard, but I mean Mera and Aquaman go off looking for the Seven Kingdoms. But then Orm escapes as well, or either goes with them, pretending he wants to help them. And all these different people from all the different kingdoms and even the surface level are all looking for this thing at the same time. And so obviously Aquaman wants to do it to save human beings. But, my God, this throat. But, there's going to be other people who want to find it for their own self-obsessed greed. So I think if that's the kind of film we're getting, it should be very interesting. John, I got my second vaccine last month. Awesome. Got mine last Saturday, was it? Last Saturday. And I'm just waiting for my second one, which is on the 26th of June. Can't wait to get it. Then I think we'll get boosters every winter. And slowly but surely, we will beat this pain in the arse virus. But I suppose COVID did release the Snyder Cut, so it's not all bad. Ronnie Dodge, I think this could be a good way of showing global warming, get people to wake up. Yes, actually, I think, because even in the first film, there was kind of the dumping of stuff that Orm was talking about from the surface level. So I think, and by the way, because we know that Jason's doing part of the story, he's very passionate about the environment. So if this is what his idea is, I think it's a great idea. The Gaming Maniac. Sup, Mick? How's your night going? Very well, the Gaming Maniac. Very well. How are you? How rude of me. How are you? Yes, we're talking about the worlds of DC and how Walter Hamada has been planning the multiverse strategy since he first became DC Films president back in 2018. He even started calling it the worlds of DC at a convention back in 2018. So that's what we've been discussing. I've just been talking about Aquaman. Aquaman 2, The Search for Spock. I keep on forgetting the title. I'm just going to call it The Search for Spock. Oh, The Search for the Lost Kingdom. Aquaman and the Search for the Lost Kingdom. I love that title. I think it's great. John, have you seen the movie Duel? No, the one directed by Spielberg. That's one Spielberg film I've never seen. But this when the lorry keeps on going after the guy, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? Scott Edwards, what's up, Scott? How are you doing tonight on this very warm Cyprus evening? How's Smallville? Let's have a Smallville conversation with Scott. I'm very proud, Scott, that I got you into Smallville, the greatest show on earth, the best DC live-action franchise to this point. Previously on Smallville. When I was really obsessed with Scott Edwards on episode 102, right? So that is episode 14 of season 5, I think. Is that the Cyborg episode or the one after Cyborg? I'm not sure. Ronnie Dodge, I think I will watch Aquaman tonight. I can't believe it got snubbed at the Oscars because of Disney and Marvel. Yet the bias is pathetic. The Gaming Maniac are still not completely sold on the Hamadaverse. Really want these next DC films to be great and have much faith in the directors, but I just hope they don't all adopt the Marvel-esque comedy route. Well, Ronnie Dodge, the VFX was bloody amazing. Absolutely, Ronnie. I mean, I think that Juan should have done the sequel trilogy for Star Wars. I think he understands that Aquaman and Atlantis is Star Wars underwater. And I think when you see Orm and Aquaman fighting and Arthur fighting, it kind of reminded me of kind of awesome lightsaber fights. And I just think Juan is amazing. And, you know, I think Disney have missed out with him. Right. The thing is, the Gaming Maniac, we've always had comedy in films. They put comedy in these films because it attracts a broader audience. Now, all the films I grew up with in the 80s had a little bit of comedy in and nobody complained. So you're always going to have a bit of comedy. I mean, even the MCU movies are not total comedy. They just fit in a bit. So yeah, there will be some funny things in there, but you would expect that a little bit. You can't just, they're not just going to do dark movies. You know, they're not going to do that. They're trying to reach a broader audience. We've got to be fair. The Gaming Maniac, Star Wars Underwater is such a great concept. And I think that's what, and really the Green Lantern comics are pretty much Star Wars in DC as well. If we get this Green Lantern Corps TV show and movie right, we could have something special with that as well. Scott Edwards, so you'll be caught up on Stargirl by fall. I hope so. The Gaming Maniac, oh, I'm not against comedy at all. I love levity, but I feel more recent MCU films has relied too much on it. Yeah, they've become a bad impression of themselves, but people still stand it and still watch it. So I think it's a bit wrong when they make a joke after someone's died. I think that's rather pathetic. But people like the MCU. Ronnie Dodge, I'm already sold on Walter Hamada doing the multiverse, but people need to remember DC Comics is not all dark and gritty. It has upbeating moments. I think that's what Jeff Johns was trying to tell people, but they weren't listening. But at the end of the day, there will be a balance in the future. I am sold in the Hamadaverse. I am sold on the multiverse strategy. But clearly, we have to sample the movies before we can start talking deeply about this being successful. So I think that's important to sample the content before you judge it. Scott Edwards says Smallville season 7, the end of one era, and season 8 to 10 are something totally different. Basically, how I can explain it to you is this. At the end of season 7, the fortress falls with Clark and Lex in it. Now, in season 8 of Smallville, Clark and Lois will work at the Daily Planet together. So Clark will be more in Metropolis than in Smallville, but he'll still live in Smallville. But the things that Clark goes up against are more Metropolis-based rather than Smallville. The Gaming Maniac, I think it has to fit the characters. And maybe like Shazam or Flash should definitely be more comedic. I think, yes, I think that's what they're going to do. I think it depends on the movie, doesn't it? I think the Flash can have some gags in it. I think it won't be, I think I think it's going to be a kind of a dark movie as well. Don't forget the emotional element of Barry Allen going back in time to save his mother. As a young boy, seeing Reverse Flash kill his mother is a devastating thing. So I don't think it's going to be as comedic as people think, but there will be comedy in there in all the films, I think. I don't think that makes them comedy shows. Shazam will have more comedy than others, of course, because I'm happy that kids and mums and dads get to go with their kids to watch movies like that. Scott Edwards, does Chloe play a big role throughout the whole series? Yeah, because she's the one who's going to be running Watchtower for the Justice League. Ronnie Dodge, Flash will have levity because that's who Barry is, and Ezra is probably having me laughing. And I loved his interview at the pet shop in Zach's movie. Oh, yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? Zach, that was good by Terry Owen Snyder. See, Snyder can do fun. Snyder can do it. He just doesn't want to do it. But as I say, I'm a balanced guy. I love Snyder's films. I don't mind Snyder's films not having any gags in them. But at the end of the day, I want DC to be successful and as loved as possible. And if a few gags does that for everyone, I'm happy to put up with them. Scott Edwards, was season are Justice League active in the show? Kind of. I think it's the early stages in season 8. Season 9, they're pretty much kind of a team. No, they are a team. And season 10, it's a smaller cast for season 10 now. Because obviously it's the final season. But yeah, it's there. You don't really see the team much together in season 10. I mean, it's Arrow, it's Green Arrow, Clark, Chloe. Oh yeah, a character you haven't met there. Ronnie Dodge, I think there will be comedy moments between Barry and Keaton's Bruce, trying to lighten the mood. Yeah, listen, it's balanced, isn't it? Look, let me go back to the 80s, right? The Goonies had comedy. E.T. had comedy. Back to the Future had comedy. These are some of the best films ever made. Forrest Gump had some comedy. But they're some of the best films ever fucking made. All of these films, right? There was never an issue. And I know that die-hard Snyder acolytes believe that everything should be dark and there should be no comedy. And it's a crime if anyone wants to crack a joke in a film. But that's ridiculous. Scott Edwards. Is Black Canary Scott Edwards, is Black Canary in the team episodes? I can't remember. If we see her after the first episode that she's in. I can't remember. I think she might show up. The Gaming Maniac, yeah, for sure. I just want balance at the day. I feel MCU has been over reliant on comedy and don't want to see DC go down that road. However, as you said, people love the MCU. It's like film candy, love. Yes, because the MCU has a balance. Look at Captain America and the Winter Soldier. You know, there was still some fun moments between Black Widow and Steve Rogers. I even thought they would have made a nice couple. But, you know, that film is quite dark as well. So that film proves you can do it. And For Ragnarok, a very entertaining movie. Loads of gags in that film. But there's also an emotional element. I cried when Sir Anthony Hopkins' father died. Sorry, so that was Sir Anthony Hopkins' character died. And you saw the expression on Loki's and Thor's face. But there was gags in that film, but there was epicness as well in it. Scott Edwards, what heroes do you predict will be in the 5-episode Flash event? Ezra Miller's The Flash, obviously. You might get a couple surprise DCEU entrants because I think that's pre-Flashpoint. I think that's one of the reasons they're doing it. I think obviously Black Lightning's an obvious one because Cress Williams has actually hinted that. Don't be surprised if you get Diggle. Don't be surprised if you get obviously some legends. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure who they can get. It's interesting though. I mean, people want Supergirl, probably Batwoman. Wouldn't surprise me. Ronnie Dodge, Goonies is one of the greatest movies ever to me as a kid. Directed by Richard Donner, the pioneer who directed Superman the movie. Ronnie Dodge, I think Infinity War had a good balance of gags and dark and gritty. That's the MCU. Yes, absolutely. The Gaming Maniac, Diggle as a Green Lantern, possibly. Yes, basically, David Ramsey's been talking. His character up till now has refused the ring, but he's hearing voices, and ultimately, he said he will embrace his Green Lantern destiny. Very exciting. Scott Edwards, it'll be cool. It'll be a cool 5-episode standalone event to watch. Hopefully, the Gaming Maniac Infinity War had an amazing balance between emotional aspects and comedy. Unfortunately, I think Endgame went overboard with the comedy. Yeah, Endgame kind of went back to basics. It was like they were holding their breaths in Infinity War. Now they go, right, we can go back to doing what we've always done. John, one of my favourite episodes in Smallville was the first time we see Green Arrow. That is episode 6, and I think that's episode 1 of season 6, isn't it? Oh, no. I think it's episode 2. I can't remember. Yeah. I didn't even know who the character was. I actually thought Oliver Queen was a villain when I first saw him, when he shoots the arrow and says, Borneo. I didn't know anything about Green Arrow before I saw him on Smallville, so I wasn't sure what kind of threat he was going to be to Clark, if any. So that was very exciting for me to discover Green Arrow as a character. And by the way, in the season 6 box set, bonus box set, there's a great documentary about Green Arrow, and it taught me a lot about the character as well. Smallville taught me so much about DC, and I'll be forever grateful to the show and the producers for that. Dave Ethan, the Gaming Maniac, not to mention the bloated and needless fan service. Yes, Dave, unfortunately, it's all about Easter eggs and fan service now in these films. It's like they're tickling you under the chin constantly. Scott Edwards, who plays a better Green Arrow, Stephen Amell or Justin Hartley? Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that. When I heard Justin Hartley wasn't going to play Green Arrow in Arrow, I went mad. Stephen Amell is sensational. I would say Stephen Amell in the first 2 seasons of Arrow, but Justin Hartley's fantastic as well. He did a great job. I would actually put them, they're different because Justin Hartley's is slightly a lighter version of Arrow, more loyal to the comics, but he does have some darker moments where he loses his shit as well. Don't get me wrong, but they're both great in the role. The Gaming Maniac, one of my favourite Smallville moments is that flash race with Clark. Oh my God, yeah. They were evenly matched for a bit until Bart decided just to go full out and leave Clark in the dust. It was brilliant. That's the first and only time we've actually seen the race, because in Justice League we didn't actually see the race. But yeah, as you say, they could only use Impulse. Legally, they weren't allowed to use Barry Allen, so they used Impulse, and it worked. Bart Allen was great. Smallville, as I say, the best live-action DC franchise ever. Scott Edwards, does Lana leave the show a good guy? Yes. The Gaming Maniac, I agree, Dave. Just from a creative perspective, I prefer films trying new things, and that's why I've distanced myself from the MCU. Just been the same thing for a bit now. And that's the same with Arrowverse, though, isn't it? That's why I distanced myself from Arrowverse. And as a DC fan, that hurt me, because initially I loved the franchise, and I was so excited by those early, crossovers between Arrow and The Flash. What a shame. Scott Edwards, what are the Vengeance Chronicles? It's not the Vengeance Chronicles, it's the Chloe Chronicles. It's just Chloe talking about the mysteries of Smallville. It's interesting. She interviews characters and stuff. Dave Ethan, don't you mean Justice League? Oh, yeah. That's what I mean. But still, just for them to even tease a race was fantastic. Justice League isn't all bad, Dave. Obviously, there's issues, but I don't blame what's his name, Joss Whedon, for all of it, because he was under the gun to rewrite and reshoot stuff. And then the actors weren't very welcoming to him either. Scott Edwards, the early days of the MCU were the best. And it's interesting, Scott, because that's when Marvel fans didn't really like it. And I think they were the better movies. Dave Ethan agreed, Scott. Ronnie Dodger, I do think we will get Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom casting this month. Hopefully, it'll be interesting to see if we hear anything about any cameos or anything like that. Scott Edwards, I love Phase 1. Yeah, Phase 1's brilliant because they're proper movies, and the origin movies aren't force-feeding you cameos and tickling you under the chin. I love Captain America, the First Avenger. And a lot of people don't like that film. I think it's a brilliant film, right? I think it's probably better than the first Iron Man movie. I like the Incredible Hulk movie, and a lot of people don't like that movie. I think Ed Norton was great. And without Ed, that film would have been worse because he made sure they didn't fuck up. He's a huge Hulk fan. The guy's got Hulk comic books up here in his house. So everyone calls Ed Norton a diva, like they call Henry Cavill a diva. They're not divas. They care. The Gaming Maniac, I think what happened to JL shouldn't be completely thrown on Whedon, but him acting like an a-hole on set was also on him. Should I tell you the truth, The Gaming Maniac? All directors act like a-holes on set, all of them, right? Obviously, we found out about this stuff and it's not good, but they all do it. It doesn't make it right, though. Scott Edwards, do you like Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern movie? I love it. The opening sequence when we go on OR, it's beautiful. Martin Campbell has been criticised, but actually the stuff on OR was so like the comic books. I really enjoyed it. They were my favourite moments from the film. I don't think it's as bad as people think. And actually, Sinestro was on fucking point as well. So I don't hate that movie. Dave Ethan, I just watched a video that's saying that WB has no faith in incoming DC projects. Dave, who owns that channel? The Gaming Maniac also a lot do, but yeah, like you said, it doesn't make it right. Humberto Carrera, I love Geo Ultimate version film. Oh yeah, the extended cut is extended by 10 minutes. I've got it on Prime Video. It is brilliant. I love it. Dave Ethan, oh my God. I mean, I knew it was bullshit before. Now that guy was saying we were going to restore the Snyderverse 5 years ago. That guy, Dave, is full of shit. Please, stick with me. Stick with your bro. I'm not very popular. I'm not an elite YouTuber, but you know the stuff I say mainly comes true. And you know I've got level opinions. Please, don't get conned. Don't make these pricks money. He's a bullshitter. And he's got a lot of Snyder fans on his books. He's just telling people what they want to hear. Bullshit. Scott Edwards, is Martha in the whole show? No. Martha leaves at the end of season 6. Very sad. You've got a bit of her yet. But when she comes back, she's obviously a senator, and we get a lot of stuff about Checkmate. And Martha is revealed to be the Red Queen, who's facing a race against time to find the Book of Rayo. Rayo is the Kryptonian god, and Rayo is like their Bible. And basically, the Kryptonian clones are after it, and so is Martha. And so she becomes a bit of a nefarious character when she returns for one episode in season 9. She also returns for the finale and a few other episodes. So Martha's got a great journey. Becoming a senator after being a housewife, it's a great journey for her. The Gaming Maniac, if you could choose between the Snyderverse being restored and the Hamadaverse continuing indefinitely, which would you prefer, me? I know there's now, but this is just hypothetical. Scott Edwards. So Martha turns bad. Oh, no. That's not what her motivations are. If I had the choice, well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I love the Snyderverse, but the Snyderverse hasn't got a long life to it. He had a plan. He was going to do his films and enact a flashpoint. For me, I'd have to say, and I mean, obviously, it's a difficult question to answer because I haven't seen any of the movies yet, right? But if they're as good as I think they are, I think I would plump for the multiverse strategy because that excites me. The kind of the connective tissues, the way they're going with it. If it actually works, I would prefer to see this multiverse continue. And I love Snyder's first 3 movies. They're fantastic. I wish we live in a world where we could have both. Ronnie Dodge, multiverse to me, no surprise there. Dave Ethan, have you talked to Martin Fisher from Twitter? He's a mutual of mine. I don't know. Who's Martin Fisher? But I don't know what you're talking about, Dave. Humberto Correa, Snyderverse will happen. Snyder is setting himself to continue. I pray he's not an animation. Humberto Correa, Snyderverse will happen. Snyder is setting himself to continue. I pray it's not animation movies. He'd be lucky to even get out animation at this point. Let's see what happens, Humberto. Who the hell's Martin Fisher? The Gaming Maniac. A Gaming Maniac with his recent posts along with Ayers. With his recent posts along with Ayers' post, it's getting some hopeful that something will happen soon. Are you talking about the Ayres cut? I haven't seen David Ayres posts. I haven't seen David Ayres post lately. I see him on Instagram. Let me read that again. The Gaming Maniac, with his recent post along with Ayres' post, is getting some hopeful that something will happen soon. Yeah, a lot of people think something's going to happen. I'm not so sure. Dave Ethan, a dude who loves old school movies. Oh, right. Well, I haven't heard of Martin Fisher, by the way, but of course, I love all movies. I love all generational movies. I think the ones I grew up with are superior to what we're getting today. Ronnie Dodge, at the way Snyder is throwing digs at Warner Bros., I can't see anything soon for Snyderverse. The Gaming Maniac, yeah, Ayres been posting a lot of posts from his cut of Suicide Squad. It's interesting. I mean, hopefully it happens. I really like that. Richie Mo, just got in. Can't believe I missed you again, man. Sorry, Richie, you're going to have to give me a rewatch like everyone does on Netflix with their movies. But we've been talking about the worlds of DC and how Walter Hamada had the multiverse strategy from the beginning when he took this role as DC film president, when he started in 2018. And we've been talking about, a variety of things. Ronnie Dodge, posting things and actually getting it is two different stories, of course. We will see. Yeah, we will see. I mean, Ann Sarnoff said no. I mean, that doesn't really matter. I mean, but it looks like they're all on the same page over at WB now. So we'll see what happens. I can't see it. Nothing will happen right now because James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. And for that to happen would have to come after that because they don't want anything to mess with that movie. So, Ronnie, you absolutely have a point now. Scott Edwards, do you think the 5-episode Flash event will be a topic at DC Fandom? I would expect so, definitely, yeah. It would have to be, yeah, definitely. Ronnie Dodge, I'm logical. I don't get excited, where are we, about silly little posts on Instagram. I'm a bubble burster. I've noticed. Richie Mo, I've seen the pic Air posted of Joker and Harley, but he's posted pics from Suicide Squad before, and it didn't mean anything. Yeah, I haven't seen that, actually. I must have missed his tweets, but yeah. Deepak, let me say that name. Wait a minute, stop posting. Deepak Kavafe. Right, you can keep on posting. Is Superman in Black Adam? I believe so, Deepak. I believe so. I think it will be a smaller appearance than it will be in Shazam, Fury of the Gods, but there'll be something for Superman fans there, definitely. Richie Mo, Aya posts pics from his other films as well. That's a good point, actually. Very good point. Dave Ethan, rhetorical question. What has happened to the Arrowverse? Dave, they are trying to appeal to their target audience, which is young girls. It started so well. The first 2 seasons of Arrow were like Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. And look where we fucking are now. No wonder Stephen Amell wanted out, right? I mean, the last episode of The Flash, I mean, I can't even defend it. I can't. It's ridiculous. So there's 10 of you in the chat, only 5 likes. I would appreciate if you could give me some likes. Ronnie Dodge, exactly my point. I trust James Gunn doing Harley and then Air because James is sticking to the comics exactly. That's what we want. That's what fans want. Humberto Correa, so the next multiverse should have Blue Beetle, Stargirl, Titans, Doom Patrol, and the Arrowverse. Yeah. That'd be interesting. Blue Beetle's going to turn up maybe pre the movie, but they're developing the movie right now, and I'm really excited about Blue Beetle. Because Blue Beetle, people see him as a small character. He's actually a very popular DC character, make no mistake about that. But I can't see... And the Arrowverse, yeah. Well, I expect Arrowverse characters to turn up in the Flash movie as well. Which ones, I'm not so sure. Don't expect to see all of them, though, that's for sure. I'd be quite happy if Black Lightning turns up. I love Cress Williams. I think he's been done dirty by his show being cancelled. Black Lightning is the best show in the Arrowverse right now, and I'm disappointed they cancelled it. But we know what they did. Ava DuVernay's show gets greenlit and Black Lightning gets cancelled. John, I hope Doom Patrol stays around. I think it will. It's very popular. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we got some Doom Patrol cameos in the Flash movie as well. Scott Edwards just sent you a cool picture on Twitter. Thank you very much. Let's have a look. So I'm just reading some arguments, but the man was still, I was given. Ah, yes, here it is, Scott. Thank you. Enter Eclipso, Stargirl. I don't think you can see it properly on here, but that's the picture. Very, very exciting. Eclipso is going to be a very, very scary character, according to one of the actresses in the movie. Who's excited about the Euros starting tomorrow? Richie Moore, I think Supes will show up in Shazam 2's post-credit scenes, where Shazam tells Supes about Black Adam. I actually think that in Shazam Fury of the Gods, Superman will play a massive part, and a smaller part on Black Adam. Ronnie Dodger, I think the highlights of the Flash movie will be Keaton and Sasha's Supergirl. I just want it all injected in my veins. I'm looking forward to the whole thing. Ronnie Dodge, is that Shazam Eclipso? No, that is Stargirl Eclipso. Scott Edwards, do you think Sasha and Melissa Supergirl will meet? Oh, I don't know. Well, it is the multiverse, so why not? I could see them doing that. Why not? Although I don't think they would get on very well for a while, because I think that this Supergirl we're being introduced to is going to be a street Supergirl, someone who's grown up on the streets and rough and ready. So she's going to come from a different background. Kara from the Arrowverse has got more of a privileged background. Richie Mo, I love Swamp Thing TV show. So do I. Wish it got a second season, and I really enjoy Titans and Doom Patrol. It's probably the best DC TV show ever, on par with Gotham. Oh, interesting, because Smallville is my best DC TV show ever. I loved Gotham. I thought it was inconsistent, but I enjoyed it. Doom Patrol is one of the best things ever made, by the way. And Swamp Thing, why it didn't get a second season, I don't understand that, but I think it's probably because they're going to develop a movie. Ronnie Dodge, I'd rather Helen Slater and Sasha Supergirl meet. Oh, yeah. I mean, Helen Slater is the gold star of Supergirl. I still love that movie. I still watch that movie. She was awesome. I agree, Ronnie. Humberto Carrera, Blue Demon on Swamp Thing was awesome. Oh, yeah, definitely. That show was off the fucking scale. Ronnie Dodge, Flash was good at season 1 and 2. Let's not say the rest. Yeah, no, the rest has been awful. It's been an absolute, I mean, what these people are thinking of, I don't know. But I think the Arrowverse is slowly closing off anyway. They have other plans for HBO Max, DC TV anyway. So I think Arrowverse is slowly but surely closing. And we'll see how that ends up. Obviously, we've got season 8 of The Flash. I predict that's the final season. Batgirl may be cancelled after its third season. Because I think we are heading to the end of Arrowverse. They have bigger plans. Richie Mo, did you look up the Seventh Kingdom, known as the Lost Kingdom in Aquaman or Aquaman 2? I didn't actually. I forgot. I had a bit of a busy day, but I do mean to do it because I am very interested in all that. Ronnie Dodge, maybe some of the Flash TV cast could move into the cinematic multiverse. I think they will. And I think that's all round on Arrowverse. The good ones will be picked out to be involved in that. Scott Edwards, how would you rate Crisis on Infinite Earths, a standalone watch on scale of 1 to 10? 7? I think 7. I think it's very good. I wouldn't give it a 10, but I think 7's a fair mark. I think there's been so much great DC TV, but I mean, I just go back to Smallville every time. I think Doom Patrol probably, if I was honest, is amazing. I mean, quality-wise, Doom Patrol probably is the best ever, but Smallville just holds a special place in my heart. But I think a proficient, sleek, amazing production. It's so unique. The characters are unique. I think Doom Patrol is probably the best thing. As Dave Ethan, right now I'm playing Immortal Phoenix Rising. Wow, I'm not much of a gamer, but I hope you're enjoying yourself. Richie Mo, it's early on in the movie, just before they get attacked with a submarine. They are in the middle of 7 giant statues of each leader of the kingdoms. Oh, you mean in the first movie? I'm going to have to rewatch it, because I don't remember that. I think that's when they're in the submarine, right? I'll have to rewatch it. So basically, they did do a bit of a... Basically, they were always heading for this, which is very interesting, which again proves that Hamada's always had a plan. Scott Edwards, can you send me your Multiverse Justice League list on Twitter? I suppose so. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that, Scott. I have... Oh, where's my list? It's somewhere. When I get... Maybe tomorrow, when I get 5 minutes, I'll do that for you. I have to find my list. Hopefully, I haven't thrown it away. Ronnie Dodge, there is an Aquaman comic called Kingdom Lost with Black Manta being the big bad. Interesting. I think Black Manta would be an amazing central big bad because obviously he really has got an axe to grind with Arthur Curry now, hasn't he? But I think we're going to see multiple versions in The Flash of all these characters. Definitely Wonder Woman, definitely Aquaman. I definitely think they're doing the Atlantean Amazonian War, even though journalists said that wasn't going to happen. I'm not convinced by that. John, I hated what they did to Kevin Conroy in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Oh my God, what a shitty version of Batman. Man bad, Batwoman good. Pathetic. That's why I hate Arrowverse. Richie Mo, King Orm tells King Meras, Dad, about the kingdoms and how they can unite them to attack the surface. That's right, I recall that for sure. So it's obviously always been in the pipeline, hasn't it, Richie? This was their plan from the very, very beginning. So no one can say the Hamadaverse actually hasn't got a plan. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Ronnie Dodge, Grace last night said that Orm is an anti-hero in this movie, which I don't mind, which means Black Manta is the main villain, which sets him up perfectly. Well, what you're going to find with Orm's very similar to Loki in that extent, where he started off as kind of a villain, manipulating wars and stuff. Then he kind of joins forces. It's kind of very similar to the kind of relationship that Thor and Loki have as well. So I like that, but I think he will at first kind of look like an anti-hero. I still think he'll betray Arthur by the end of the movie. So that's good. Obviously, Grace knows something, or she's guessing. But yeah, I don't mind that one little bit. Richie Mo, HMV is charging £80 for Smallville. Where did you get yours from for 50? Oh, I got it from Amazon. I got it on Amazon. Amazon shopping. I got it for £50, 50 sterling. I think I got it for 50 sterling, yeah. £80, the bastards. But that just goes to show you how popular Smallville still is, because people will buy it. I wanted the other box set with the newspaper clippings in it and everything, but you can't get that on Amazon anymore. It's sold out. I like it, the Smallville. £80, the bastards, I'm telling you. But it just goes to show you how much people will pay for something that they love. I mean, amazing, really. A bunch of discs, moving pictures, and we will pay for it because we love it, because it takes us to another world, another people's world. So we have about 7 minutes left. So get your comments in. Come with me to the sea of love. But it's certainly an intriguing time for DC movies and DC fans. John, it is strange that Smallville has not been released on Blu-ray. I know. They reckon they can't because the other previous episodes were shot in certain cameras. I don't get it. I mean, 1940s movies are on Blu-ray. It looks like Warner Brothers just don't want to spend the money on it. It's very disappointing, John. I agree. I feel sorry for Ronnie Dodge. I feel sorry for him to a certain extent because his dad was a dick to Atlanta in Aquaman by sending her to the trench. Need to see more of the trench. Yeah, I think they're going to join the trench idea for the movie they were originally going to do in this film. Or the trench may even be the third movie, which will be interesting. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think that's totally dead. It will be kind of used somehow in one of the Aquaman movies for sure. I don't know why they held your comment there, Ronnie, for review. You didn't do anything wrong. But when they hold it for review, I automatically get rid of it just in case they don't like it. Richie Mo, Zack plans for Aquaman's first movie to be about the Lost Kingdom. It's in his whiteboards that were released in the AT&T Museum. Yes, I realise that, Richie, but what we've all got to realise is that the Seventh Kingdom and all of that stuff is based on the comics. So even though Zack was going to do that in the first film, I think it made sense to wait, not to just jump in there and do that in the first film when you're setting up a character and a world. Let's not forget, Zack Snyder didn't create the Seventh Kingdom. It was in the comics. Ronnie Dodge, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom will have a presence at Fandom. Oh, for sure. Everything that's being developed will have some kind of presence, which is fucking awesome. DC Fandom is an excellent idea. Whoever come up with it is a genius. Thank God we don't have to wait till Comic-Con anymore. We've got our own little fandom, and it's amazing. Last year was sensational. And what's great about it this year, I can go live. I didn't know I could go live back then. Now I'm going to be going live and covering the whole fucking thing, no matter what time it's on. So I can't wait to cover this thing properly. So I'll be literally on my phone watching it somehow and obviously conveying what's going on and reacting to it all the time. It's going to be sensational. It's probably the biggest thing I've ever tried to do on this channel before, so I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you'll be with me when DC Fandom hits in October. I'll be wearing a jumper again. It'll be cold most properly. Wow, how things change. Richie Mo, I wasn't saying he invented it, Mick. I was just saying he already had it planned before the leadership changes. Oh, yeah, I understand what you were saying, and I totally respect what you were trying to say. But, you know, I think the first movie was too soon for the Seventh Kingdom. Just diving in there, that's just my opinion. I always knew that what Zack was trying to do because he was teasing Unite the Seven. But personally, and that's a good idea, I'm not saying it wouldn't have worked. I just think what James Wan did made sense, and it makes better sense to do it in the sequel. Ronnie Dodge, I want Rupert Gregson-Williams to come back for the Lost Kingdom. I hope so. I hope so. He's such a good composer. His Wonder Woman, his first Wonder Woman one, I'll say this, probably better than Zimmer's music in Wonder Woman 84. And Hans Zimmer I'm a big fan of Hans Zimmer. He's a genius as well. So Rupert Gregson Williams, I think, should do the main music. I'm sad that he's not doing Flash, but we'll see what this guy's going to do. Rupert Gregson Williams has done some of the best DCEU scores, apart from Hans Zimmer, of course, in Junkie XL, who are absolutely fucking fantastic. We're very lucky with scores in the DCEU. I mean, the MCU scores, if you heard that music, apart from the Avengers theme and the odd theme, you wouldn't recognize that. And that's kind of sad, isn't it? Ronnie Dodge, if Snyder was in charge, we wouldn't have the amazing event at Fandom. That's not a dig, or maybe it is. Well, the people running things like Walter Hamada have come up with that, and it's genius. Maybe Jim Lee, maybe Ann Sarnoff, who knows who came up with it, but it's genius. Richie Mo, I'm super pumped for Aquaman 2. I love fantasy adventure movies, and the first one ticked all my boxes apart from the bad bit of comedy. I loved it. Do you know what? I didn't mind the comedy. The comedy wasn't that much. There wasn't that much comedy in it at all, by the way. I think it worked. And I think the whole film worked for everyone because it made over $1 billion, and no DCEU film has made over $1 billion. So they pretty much got the whole film right, and more people went back for repeat viewings for that film. That's why it made so much money. People liked that film. So it's the film. I can't wait for the second one. It was colourful. Atlantis looked stunning. The performances were great. The music was great. I loved that film. And I was very excited that I had the honour to watch it early. Amazing film. Ronnie Dodge, if you had to choose to do the score for Wonder Woman 3, would it be Williams or Zimmer? Oh, shit. That's interesting. I would probably go for Williams just because he did the first one and it connects. I'd love Zimmer to do it, by the way. Zimmer's a fucking genius. I wouldn't mind either. I think Williams' scores have got more heart and soul in them than Zimmer's, but for sure, I'd take either, of course. But I will say that Williams' score for the first movie was sensational. The Gaming Maniac, the only real part that I didn't like of Aquaman personally was the Pitbull song scene, lol. Oh, you mean when they're in the bar? I thought it was all right. I didn't mind it. Obviously not my highlights of the film, but not every piece of a film is going to be a highlight, is it? So apart from Masters of the Universe, what are some of your favourite 80s cartoons? Oh, wow. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, I fucking loved that. The Smurfs, I loved the Smurfs. Dungeons and Dragons, on a lesser extent, I didn't mind. Scooby-Doo, loved Scooby-Doo. Trying to think of some others. There's loads. Believe you me, when this stream ends, I'm going to think of them all. But there's so many bits of animation I loved. So many, isn't there? Obviously, growing up, I loved the Looney Tunes. I loved the Looney Tunes over the Disney animation. Bugs Bunny was my favourite fucking character because he was a shit stirrer. Yeah, but the animation of back what we grew up with, obviously, the Looney Tunes was made in the 50s and the 40s, but we were seeing them as kids. Mine is the real Ghostbusters. I used to watch that. It was a lot of fun. Not one of my favourites, but it was a lot of fun. Dave, I enjoyed Mask. Oh, the movie with Jim Carrey. Great movie. Actually, there was another Mask movie with Cher when she had a deformed son. That's a fucking amazing movie, by the way. Kind of movies we had in the 80s. There was, or 90s, or whatever. There was more variety, right? You could go to a HMV or an Hour Price and you could just see so many different movies, not just one type. Oh, the cartoon. I don't remember the Mask cartoon. I vaguely may remember it. There was a lot of good animation when we were kids. I think the animation was better then because the content and the writing was better. They were more entertaining. I mean, this is not an 80s cartoon, but I used to love the original Ben 10 animation. I used to love watching that. I think they should do a Ben 10 live action movie. I know they've done some live action stuff on Cartoon Network, but I mean a proper thing. They were developing something, and I don't know what happened to it. And actually, there was a great Hulk cartoon when I was a kid, but I can't remember what it was called, but it used to be like this. He used to talk like this, Hulk, mad, and the music used to go, dun, 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 dun. Loved it. But Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was one of my favourites, I must admit. Thunder, Cats. Yeah. I think Masters of the Universe was the one that stuck in my mind. Ronnie Dodge, the track I love from that soundtrack is Pain, Lost and Love. Oh, yeah, it's a great, yeah, definitely. Great soundtrack. The DCEU has so many memorable soundtracks. I probably think the less memorable one is the Shazam one, which worries me for Flash. I'm surprised they're using him. I'm very surprised. He's going to although the music they teased us was fucking awesome. So that's a great start. Ronnie Dodge and the No Man's Land. Fucking Rupert Gregson-Williams is a genius, right? The No Man's Land one is beautiful because it's emotional. It's not hard-hitting action music. It's done in the right context and it's beautiful. You're absolutely right. As I say, the DCEU has amazing music. And I'm a fan more of composed music than songs. John, I hope Masters of the Universe Revelation does well. Apart from, apparently, the Revelation part is about Teela. It wasn't enough for them to do She-Ra, and now basically Masters of the Universe will be based on a female. Good idea, Will Smith. Not Will Smith, Kevin Smith. Always get those two mixed up. Well, it's obvious to see why, right? Right, everyone, I'm going to give it 5 minutes, then wrap up. These streams always get better in the last 5 minutes. I don't know why. Everyone has got so much more to say. It's nuts, right? But I love it. Ronnie Dodge, it's moving and emotional. That scene made me cry in the cinema. Amazing. Amazing. I actually cried when I saw young Lily Aspel run away from the babysitter as young Diana in the opening of the first film. I just thought, wow. I knew then this was going to be a great fucking movie, and Williams' music was emotional. I knew from the first moment I saw that film is fucking beautiful. That is not a Patty Jenkins film. No one will ever convince me anything different. Dave Ethan, great. Catch you all later. See you later, Dave Ethan. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for joining the stream. Ronnie Dodge, did you see Patrick Wilson comments on James Wan yesterday saying, are they going to let me out, lol? Yeah, he said, let me out, I can help. And I said, nice try, Orm, I said to him. So, yeah, it was fun seeing a lot of blue check marks commenting on that post, and it was fun and positive. So I really enjoyed that, yeah. This is going to be fun. This new era of this franchise is going to be very, very exciting. And they're doing it on purpose to make it exciting, and quite right too. Quite right too. The fans should enjoy the experience, the build-up of the movies when they're in development, and then the build-up a few weeks before you see them. This is what happens with the MCU, and us DC fans deserve that too. Ronnie Dodge, I hope we see Ludi Lin back in that movie. Who's Ludi Lin? I don't know who Ludi Lin is. I can't remember Ludi Lin. You're going to have to describe the character for me. Oh, yeah. It's been a long day. You have 4 minutes and counting to put your comments down for me to read out. Ronnie Dodge, he was one of Orm's soldiers. He was in the Mortal Kombat movie and Power Rangers who played Zack. Oh, right. I think I know who you mean now. I think really from the moment that Ezra Miller cameoed in Crisis on Infinite Earths, that the DCEU has been heading to a new direction, and I know we were still building up to the Snyder Cut, which was great, but, you know, I think we've been heading for something special. Oh, the one who stuck their head in the loo. Oh, him. Yeah, I loved him. That was a great fucking moment, wasn't it? How can you say that's false comedy? That was awesome, right? The problem is, right, we live in such depressing fucking times. We need a few laughs in our movies as well. Come on. Imagine being a kid. When we were kids, we were able to see Superman the movie, right? We had Otis wobbling around and making us laugh, right? Kids today don't get to laugh that much with their movies, and that's a shame. Ronnie Dodge, I love that no one knew about that cameo. I didn't actually. It's an interesting one, though. So remember, everyone, all 5 of you, of course. Remember, everyone, I'll be back tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. UK time for the Big Mouth Daily Live. John, do you remember when the Flash was in Suicide Squad? Amazing. Amazing cameo. Loved it. Actually, the Suicide Squad is a teaser of what could come with all these crossovers, because I think the Suicide Squad thus far has had the best crossovers in the DCEU. Really does. When I saw that scene, I laughed. I'm like, I hope he knows who last used the toilet. Yeah, it's a great sequence, isn't it? It really is. So, yes. So the Big Mouth Daily Live is basically the entertainment news update element of what I do. So we read through articles from DC, about other films and actors and things going on in the industry. So you're all updated. You still make your comments. I still read out your comments. So if you haven't checked that out before, I'll be here live tomorrow from 9 a.m. UK time. Check your local times for details. So please comment down below if you are rewatching this. Like, share and subscribe. Share the channel, share the videos, show me your love and support if you want to show me your love and support. I suppose if you want to show me hate, you can show me hate. I'd rather you didn't. Ronnie Dodge, share, like and subscribe, and see you guys tomorrow. See you later. Oh, God, because you put share in it, they actually... I've held it up for review. Ridiculous, right? John, see you tomorrow. The Gaming Maniac, always appreciate the grind, Mick. Thank you. I appreciate you as well, the Gaming Maniac. Always something great to say. Ronnie Dodge, Mick is the boss. Thank you, Ronnie. You're all the bosses as well for giving me support, people to talk to. Without you guys coming in, I'm sitting here like that, and it's not going to be much fun. I'd probably have to come up with something, but I don't want to do that. So thank you for coming in. These are early beginnings for these live streams, but we will get more people in. And I think the channel will become more successful as more people hear about what we're doing. So, back tomorrow, 9 a.m. for the Big Mouth Daily Live for your entertainment updates. It's the only place to be because you get opinions with those updates as well. And then every evening from 6:30 p.m. UK time, Big Mouth Live, streaming live here on Big Mouth, just chatting, chewing the fat, talking about geek stuff and anything you want to talk about. It's been great. Ronnie Dodge, what the F YouTube? Yeah, they don't like share it. They don't like plugging. I've done titles before where I put my Twitter handle on and they wouldn't let me do it. They just don't like it. It's fucking weird. It's like they don't like other social media companies being shared. It's pathetic. The Gaming Maniac, have a good night, man. You too, the Gaming Maniac. Great to be conversing with you all. I'll be back tomorrow. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at MoviesTVMad. Until then, see you later. Thanks for the support. I'm going to go and party, man. See you later.